Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Miss Lillians paint page, also to my own page and YouTube channel. My name is Debbie Tona. I am a furniture artist and store owner in Nampa, Idaho, and also a Miss Lillians content creator. So today, let's blend on a gorgeous, gorgeous vintage vanity. I will tell you, vintage is like what speaks to my heart and my soul because it's made of good quality wood. You can paint anything, but for me to resell, I love vintage pieces. I know they're not readily available, but if you can find them, hang on to them because they're awesome. So this pretty girl has a huge mirror too, which of course I took off. It's no use in trying to do it at the same time. And I will give you a great tip. Hey, Ronnie, is if you want, and you're old like me, right, and your knees hurt, put your pieces up. This is on a plastic table, so way up off the floor, right? So I just stick it up on one of these lifetime plastic tables, throw a tablecloth on it, and that's what I paint off of because it makes my life, my back, my shoulders, my knees so much better. And who wants to sit on the ground, right? So I picked this beautiful rainbow of colors. My thought process right now is something creamy, dreamy, right? Something that could go with everybody's decor. So I get a lot of requests for white. I don't personally like to just paint white. It's just not my thing. I love to blend. It's what I'm known for. It's what I do. So I figured we could take shades of white and incorporate them, but then maybe just got this color in today. Seaside gray. Maybe a pop of light. Let me see the light. There you go. You can see more of the true color, right? So it's like a blue, it's like a dusty coneflower gray blue. I got this one today too. I just got my shipment in, so I always get excited, right? And I pick all my new colors. Graystone, which is this beautiful, warm, taupey brown. And then this one is Riverstone, which is in the same family. You can see they're very similar, but one is a little bit darker. So I thought we'd incorporate that. And then I pulled two. I just got these in too, but look at, they look like I've had them for a million years. I got paint all over them. This one is Lena. This is a white off-white, and this is Old Cupboard, like old cupboard, cupboard, like an old vintage kitchen. So let me turn the light back on. This, I'm going to strip the top and stain it. And what I like to do for me is as tempted as I was earlier to strip all of this paint off or this finish, I like to do that after I have painted the whole piece because I will tell you, I will end up getting stuff up here because I'm a super messy painter. So how I do it is I paint what I need to paint, then I stain after. So this, I'm going to strip this to raw wood. I'm going to take this whole lip, this whole top. I got this to come off. Oh my gosh, can I share with you guys what this looks like? So this up here, there's a drawer. This drawer goes in here, right? Here. Well, I unscrewed them and they come off. Look at what I found underneath. Look at this. Let me see if you can see that. Can you see that wood? OMG. This is unstained wood that was sitting underneath that. I don't have to put those drawers back, but they're great for storage. And actually, they hold the mirror in place. So I thought, when I strip this down to raw wood, this is why you guys, I like vintage, because newer pieces don't really have that. But anyhow, I'm gonna do that later. But we'll just set it up here for now. That way I don't. And mark your side. So if you're going to take a piece like this off, make sure you put right and left when you take them off, because I will tell you, they won't go back on the same. It's a great, great thing to get in the habit of doing. Also with drawers. So when you have a dresser, say you have this dresser right here, when you pull the drawers out, put a number on the back. So you know which order they go back in. You will save yourself a lot of headaches by planning ahead. So let's get lined up so we can get you in shot and we can get focused. There we go, girl. Right on. So I'm going to start with the gray stone. I thought that would be a great base for this piece. Whenever I blend, I like to start off with a base color. It gets some paint to stick. It makes it so that it's easier in the long run to blend over the top. Now, I am just going to lay it out, and I'm not trying to make it perfect, nor am I worried about if it streaks here and there. It does not bother me, because we're going to blend over the top. And you guys, I'm hardly using any paint on my brush. I'm not loading it. I'm not overloading it. I think the thing that a lot of people do is they try to cover, first of all, on the first coat. That's not necessary. If your first coat's a little streaky, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. That is exactly how chalk type paint is intended to go on, okay? The first coat is supposed to be streaky. It's not supposed to be like, oh my gosh, coverage perfect, because the second coat will cover perfectly. I like to prep this by cleaning it first. Now, Miss Lillians has a cleaner called First Step. You can use that. What it does is it takes all the grease and the grime and the whatever's on there and takes it off. Then I always lightly scuff sand my pieces. That's something that I have always done. A lot of people don't do that. Personally, I just do it because I know my paint is always going to adhere if I do the same step every single time, right? The one time that I skipped a step, I had issues. So early on in my career, I just made a path that that's how I would prep. That's how I teach. That's how I prep. And I mean, when I say scuff sand, I mean you just take a little bit and just scuff a little bit of the finish, just like this. You're not scanning down to raw wood. Isn't this a cool color, Ronnie? Thank you. Yes, Ronnie says the first thing she does when she paints is number all the drawers. Let me tell you, it's a lifesaver. I've done it. I don't care if there's only 3 drawers. Or if there's just like 2 right and the left, like on this vanity, do it every time. Especially, well, 2 is not so hard. You got to figure out, got to go on one way or the other. But if you have 6 drawers and you're trying to figure out where they went, because especially with older pieces of furniture, they will definitely not fit the same in every spot. It's just a matter of, this is how it is. I'm not going to worry about paint strokes because remember, this is just our base coat. We're going to blend on this piece with those colors that I have saved up here. I am just using a flat brush for now because this is a flat surface. I generally use my big round fluffy brushes, but I figured this will lay out paint a little bit faster on this flat surface. And then just go around these legs. Just give them a quick coating. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect on the first coat. That's not the purpose of it. It's not to be perfect. This color is really pretty. It's a very, very soft gray brown. That's a better description. It's not really a brown. It's not really a gray. It's kind of in the middle. Probably why it's called Greystone. Right? So look at me go, seeing so smart. If you lay your paint out correctly, it won't take no time at all to dry. Okay? You don't want to keep going back over it and over it until it is dry. Hey, Chastity, how's it going? We're going to hit it really quick with this dryer. Went to Taco Bell today for lunch and I ordered a Pepsi and they gave me a Dr. Pepper. Now, when I was pregnant with my son, who's 32 now, That's all I drink. I really don't like Dr. Pepper. But I was like, I got all the way back to the store before I realized that it wasn't Pepsi, so I'm drinking it. It's not my favorite, but I haven't had it in a long time, so I guess I'm okay. So we're gonna dry this real quick. So that way we can add a second coat. The second coat is gonna be the blended coat, right? So we're gonna start putting blending on. This is just a craft dryer. You can put your pieces in front of a fan, or if it's in the middle of summer, probably dries before you even get done. If your paint does start to dry while you're painting, because the weather's changing here in Idaho, we're at 80 today. First time this year. Like it's been cold. 80, 90 tomorrow, 80 Saturday, Sunday, then 60 on Monday. Okay. We have bipolar weather in Idaho, just if you guys didn't know that. So it's always either cold or the armpit of hell. So yeah. You're waiting on thunderstorms. Ooh, I love summer thunderstorms here. They're awesome. The dogs, they're not fans, but boy, do I think they're so cool. So just quickly going to get this to dry. If you don't dry your base coat, what's going to happen is you're going to pull it off when you go to blend over the top. So this we wanted to just dry really quick. You can tell it didn't take long to dry this first area, right? If I had gotten my fan out, I would have had that up and just let that dry. But of course, I didn't plan ahead as usual. But yeah, we're finally just getting good weather. In Idaho, we don't put plants outside until after Mother's Day. But now this week, it's still going to be lows in the low 40s. So I think I'm still waiting another week to put my flowers out, my annuals, right? I have a greenhouse, so it's nice. I'm pretty spoiled. Okay. Let me grab another little thing so we can put the lacy paint down. So let's put the graystone aside and let's go in with, well, I've never used this color. Seaside gray, but it's more of a blue. I'm warmer than you right now. What state do you live in, Chastity? I can't remember. Texas? You guys are always warm. Seaside blue. Here's a great hint for you guys. If you don't want your lids to stick, because I just opened these, because they will, because I pour paint and then it gets all gooby on the side, then you should put some Vaseline around the rim. And off camera, I did that. I just put Vaseline around this rim. So that way when I seal them again, because when you pour the paint off the side, that drips and then the lids are hard to get on and off and it's like concrete. Use some Vaseline. It works great. This one is Old Cupboard. It's more of an off-white but with a yellow undertone, which I kind of like. Like a buttermilk kind of color. And then we're going to throw this darker brown, which is Riverstone. So we got Greystone as our base. Riverstone we're going to throw in there. Well, let's just play with it. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I haven't even tested this yet. To see. It's always a surprise to me too. I'm always like, oh, that's pretty. Look at me go. I didn't even plan on that. Put it a little more down so you can be more level. So here's our palette. Seaside, Old Cupboard, Lena is that one, and Riverstone, and then Greystone is the base. You're going to get tornadoes? Heck no. That's why I don't live where you do. So we don't have natural disasters in Idaho. The only one's fire, and we really don't. I mean, they're normally up towards the mountains, right? Oh, what are we gonna do? So I'm just gonna dip into these paints and just kind of see where it takes me. I don't know yet. So I'm just going to dip. When I talk a little dip, we're hardly talking any color, okay? Any color on this brush, just a touch. I know I'm speaking my own language, a touch. So I just added a little bit of the river stone with the old cupboard and the Lena. I want this to be a creamy dreamy. The reason I put the gray stone down first was so that when I sand back, this is going to show through. Okay. There was a rhyme. There was a reason behind my madness on that. And I'm just going to play with this. And when I'm adding just little tiny bites of paint, I'm not doing a bunch of paint. You guys, I blend on here every 2 weeks with you. And see how small, can you see the little, where's that? The little tiny bit of blue right here? Hardly any, right? So you can buy an 8-ounce jar of paint and it will last you forever. Put it on your brush and just let your brush do all the work. Now, if you use a good quality brush, I use Klingon brushes, which I do have on the website. This is an 040. They will do the blending for you. So you just got to play with little bites of color, adding it in and out. If your color starts to drag, get your spray bottle out. Weather is perfect right now, though, to do this kind of application because it just tends to just give me the right amount of warmth in the atmosphere, you know, to not make it be too dry. If it does, I just take a fine mist sprayer, not a squirt gun or a fine mist sprayer, which is the, look at my fancy one of my customers gave it to me. And just spray a little bit of water, and what that does is allow the paint to reactivate and suddenly allows us to be able to move it around again. Now, I don't know if you can see it. I can see it on camera. There's little hints of that river stone in here, which just kind of make it look really soft and pretty. Like I said, I wanted this to be like a white. This is the Lena that I'm putting on right now. A creamy white with, not just white though, I wanted to have a hint of something, hence a little bit of the seaside gray, which is really a blue. Don't let the names fool you guys when it comes to colors. Adding a little bit of that river stone, going back and forth, up and down with your brush, because what that does is it gives you movement and depth in your blend. It really does. I'm thinking that for the legs of this, we're probably going to paint them the darker, which is the river stone. I love this color. Very pretty. And just leave them like a solid color. Bringing it up into the piece so that it floats on up into the piece, right? Maybe leaving this kind of dark right down here and then floating it up into our piece. What do you guys think so far? You like? Yes, no? Have you tried to blend with Miss Lillians? Let me see who I was talking to. Let me grab my screen. My head's just not in your way. Come down and read the comment. Oh, it's Seaside Gray. It's beautiful with black walnut glaze. Ooh, that's a great idea. I'll love me some good glaze. Especially all down here in the bottom, right? So we're going to carry up that dark gray, which is the river stone, up, kind of up this piece, and through the bottom, so it's kind of exploding upwards. Does that make sense? From the legs, and then just carry it on up. What do you guys think? And then on the mirror, we can kind of mimic that too. The mirror has some repairs I need to do, so I couldn't like attach it to the back of the vanity to show you guys. The colors are beautiful. Thanks, my friend, Romy. Okay, so let's move over. Look at big difference, right? Let's move this for just a second. You see the more true colors now with alpha light, right? The blue is very soft. Now, what my plan will be, even though this is a no wax paint, which I absolutely love, I'm going to probably sand this back a little bit and add the dimension of the first coat, which was the gray stone, to come through. When I sand it, it's going to dull my finish. I will then wax it. I know it's a no wax paint, but if I sand it, it'll scuff it up, and I'll want to either clear coat it or wax it. You can clear coat. I prefer wax, so I'll put a wax on there, another brand's wax, and it will look stunning and gorgeous. Normally I don't have to do that because I'm not going to go down to the bottom layer, but I think I want to do that on this one. I think I want to do that. So we just pivot, right? Sometimes we just pivot with what we're doing because it makes the most sense. There's no rules. That's the beauty about painting. So once again, we're using these colors: Seaside, Riverstone, Lena, and Old Cupboard. So a creamy yellow white, a creamy greasy white, a blue gray, and a brown gray all together. And I am just taking little bites. Do you see how little bit of paint I have right there? And just going up. This is going to be stained, and I will have to figure out which color of stain I'm going to use. Miss Lillians has a lot of beautiful stain colors. Actually, they have the biggest selection of any paint company I've ever seen when it comes to stain. Water-based stain is the bomb. But for the best looks, I do get and take this all the way down to raw wood. This finish on this top is horrible. But once I sand it with my amazing sander, it'll all be good. So we're just going to kind of highlight this little middle thing right here. I'm going to add the blue like right in the middle, like going out into it, so that it just kind of goes. Lackluster satin, yes, are amazing. They look great on all of that stuff. So we are just adding some more color across this little bridge right here. Not painting this because we are going to stain it. Yes, her satin top coat is a really good one too. I love me this no wax. I was talking to the owner of Miss Lillians, Maryland, earlier today, or yesterday was, about how well her paint blends for what we consider, it's not technically an all-in-one because it doesn't have a primer in it, but it's an all-in-one paint because I don't have to prime many of my pieces anyhow. But it definitely gives me such a great finish when I don't have to wax or top coat or do anything, right? It makes my life so much easier. So much easier. I just did 6 chairs and a table in onyx. The customer wanted black. And Miss Lillians black, by far, hands down, no lie, onyx is the best black I have ever used in my life. Not kidding. Any paint line I represent. Best of the best. It doesn't leave chalk residue. It is freaking fabulous. You guys will love it. If you haven't tried it, you should try it. My link to order paint is in the description. If you are local to me, please come in and see me. But if you are not, you can order paint, and I will give a small credit for that. So there is an affiliate link attached to this live. The bummer about lives now on Facebook is that they disappear after 30 days. But luckily for you guys, I am broadcasting this live also on my YouTube channel, which is also my name of my business, Vanity Transformations. I don't think I put that in the description. I will. I'll go add it. So anyhow, if you ever need to reference back, you can always find it in there. Adding another blend on this side. Now I didn't do the bottom yet. Step back, add that pretty dark gray brown color Riverstone. Carry it up through those legs. Can I just point out that when we started, I just poured little, probably 2 tablespoons of paint into my thing. I've painted the whole front of this, and I still have, the only paint that I ran out of is the Riverstone. I still have the Seaside and the other 2 whites. So when I say it doesn't take a lot of paint to make a masterpiece, it doesn't take a lot of paint to paint a masterpiece. When you use good quality paint like this, you will always get good quality finishes. Don't go to the box stores to buy your paint. Go see local retailers that know what they're doing. If you live somewhere where there's an antique mall that sells Miss Lillians, call the person who has it if you have questions and go talk to them. They're a wealth of information. Like, luckily for people that live here, I have a store, so they can come in and talk to me 5 days a week, and they do. Take a class from your local retailers. Remember, Amazon is not always the answer. A lot of stuff on Amazon is actually counterfeit anyhow, so don't believe everything you see. So we're going to pull that gray up, that Riverstone, into this bottom so that it just kind of explodes up. Now, I did notice, as I look at both of these, there's a lot more gray-brown on that side than on this side. So I'm going to just dip a little bit in. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to go all in different directions. I'm going to dip back into the whites, and we're just going to keep blending. And it is kind of dragging because, like I said, it's a little warm today. I'm going to give her a little spray with my fine sprayer, which will then allow my paint to be moved. It's all about water, brushes, and paint. And you got to use a good quality brush. I'm not kidding. The better the brush, the better your paint job. True story. Same thing with your paint. So just keep playing with it till you get it how you like it. I'm going to add a little more blue now, right down the middle. Kind of just feather that out. They don't have to always be the same. They can be a little different. A little spritz. I'm not trying to soak it. The water just allows the paint to then be reactivated. And since the head of my brush is nice and fat and soft, it allows it to be reactivated and moved. And I'm barely like stroking it when I do it like this. What do you guys think? I think she's gonna be pretty. We have to pick a stain color for the top, right? A dark brown. Actually, what's the stain color that looks similar to this? Truffle is the glaze. Is there, I can't know what the stain color is. I don't know. You know, Chastity, but that would be really pretty with it, right? And what I think I'll do is on top of these, so these drawer fronts, of course, will get painted. And then I will sand the top, but I'll probably paint the sides of these around so that they match too. And then with dark wood and all that, it's going to be more. Does anybody have any questions? What do you think about what we did today? Chastity says she loves the onyx. It's a true deep black. It is. Oh, and the onyx cabinet paint, because Miss Lillians has a whole line of paint specifically for cabinets. I need to do a class with that paint, actually. It's just amazing. So, oh, and actually, you're right, Chastity. We do have a clear wax too that you can use on top if you want. Like I said, I'm so used to using the wax, but it's not necessary. But I will sand this down a little bit because I'm going to want that gray from the beginning to show through. I'm going to let it dry a little bit more, or I would show you today. And that will make the blend a little bit softer too. Now I may decide, I see some lines on here. I probably will do a second coat of a blend just because why not? It's not hard. There's not much surface to paint on this vanity. And I kind of like how it's just going to be a subtle hint of the blue. Now underneath here, I'm just going to leave it the gray stone. I'm not going to try to blend underneath. It's not necessary. So I'm just going to leave it like that. But I think if you take the colors that complement each other and use them. You can't ever go wrong. So we use Old Cover, Lena, Seaside Gray, Greystone, and Riverstone. They're all very, very similar in hues, right? They go very well together on a color scale. So I hope you guys enjoyed my live. I would appreciate if you're watching on my page, if you go to Miss Lillians and give her a follow. If you're watching on Miss Lillians, go and give Tona Transformations a follow. I'll tag my page in the comments for Miss Lillians. And then this will be live for replay on my YouTube channel. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. In 2 weeks, we will be back. Hopefully I'll have this done and staged and be able to show you a picture of what it looks like all finished. For more tutorials, follow us on Miss Lillians, follow me, and go out and have a great day. And as I always say, whenever I paint and talk to you guys, you know what? Go out and be fabulous. Go kiss them babies and have a great evening and enjoy the sunshine.